welcome or welcome back to 4F Beauty. When will I be YouTube famous? I don't know. Now, this video I have been nagged and nagged and nagged, mainly by Gecky, that she wants to see my makeup collection, specifically my palettes. Now obviously I've got another couple of videos in this series. I've done all of my Jeffree Star up to the point, but I have since got more Jeffree Star, so that's already out of date, fabulous. And I've done all my foundations, which, yes, that's live. That was live a couple of days ago when I'm filming this. Darling hubby, who has not long been in from work, bless his heart.
Hello there.
Got corralled into helping me with this because I have so many eyeshadow palettes.
I thought you persuaded me.
Kind of both.
Nah, kind of.
Kind of both.
Oh.
It's okay, it's a Jeffree, it won't come off.
Oh, good.
Okay, over there are piles and piles and piles and piles and piles
Quite a few.
of palettes. It's quite fair to say that the biggest pile by far is the Revolution palettes, closely followed by My Heart Revolution, closely followed by I've only got one from this brand. Right, okay. It's quite hot in my kitchen, and unfortunately the heating controls are the other side of the kitchen. And there's currently piles and piles and piles of palettes in the way. So if you occasionally see me do this or this, I'm not being a diva. Neither are next door's kids, they're just having fun. It's just really hot in my kitchen. If you're wondering why I currently have what appears to be a ribbed for her pleasure on my hand, I managed to rip my nail completely off. My actual nail. The only thing holding my nail on right now is the acrylic. I'm going to put a non-squeamish picture up so you can see just exactly how far down the nail my actual nail broke. So you can see just quite how far down that is. Back to me again. Oh, there we go. Editing me's going to love me for all of these inserts. Basically, I was putting the handbrake on and had a fibrospasm which caused my fist to clench and my shoulder to jerk, and those two things combined meant that my nail caught on the handbrake and bent right back. Now normally what would happen is the acrylic pops off. But because these aren't tips, these are my actual nails, just with acrylic overlay to stop them from breaking, it actually lifted my nail right away from the nail bed. I said many rude words. Thankfully I was in the car on my own at the time, so nobody heard them. But you will see quite a few videos with me wearing some kind of covering, partly because it helps keep the plaster on, because me and plasters are a bit like my nose and foundation, they don't like each other, and partly so that while the nail is hopefully re-amalgamating with the nail bed, fingers crossed I don't actually lose the nail. I did do this once before and it lifted halfway, I snapped it halfway down the nail, and thankfully the nail bed reattached and I could just grow it out. Fingers crossed this happens again, but I've never broken one quite this low down my nail before, so I don't want to risk getting any kind of powder or spray or liquid or anything underneath between the nail and the nail bed. Bit of a long explanation, I know. I'm guessing after I've said it quite a few times I'll work out a way of shortening it down, but for the minute you got the full version. Right. Let's start at this end with those first two piles there, please, babe.
All the beauty glaze.
Yep. Right. So, Beauty Glazed. You will have seen me use one of these in a battle of the dupes. I have two Beauty Glazed palettes, one called the Rose Gold edition and one called the I Got You edition. You can probably guess from the outside which palettes they are duping. This is the Rose Gold one. Looks very rose gold. Clearly I'm not going to swatch these, otherwise we would be here for 5 years and husband would divorce me. I quite like being married. So, if there's any that you do want to see swatched, let me know and I'll do it in another video sometime. This is the... I normally chuck these plastic things away because they just end up jabbing into shadows. Yeah, in the box goes away. This is the I Got You, which obviously the first one was a dupe of the Huda Rose Gold. This is a dupe of the Huda Desert Dusk. Because I ain't paying Huda's prices for palettes. Because Huda's on my shit list. That reminds me, I've still got to film my hit list and shit list. I've got a list of films that I need to film as long as my arm. Right, so that's the first pile done. Next pile, please, Honey Bunch. Yep. And when I say pile, there's one. But it did fall under the Tam Beauty umbrella, which is now the Revolution umbrella. I don't think you can get this brand anymore, but you might find it on reseller sites like eBay or Depop or something, or like FaceBay, or a lot of the beauty groups that I'm in on Facebook have sister selling groups on it as well. So this is the Freedom House of Glam Dolls Fairy Doll look, and this is the only Freedom palette I ever bought, to be quite honest. None of the others really grabbed me, and this one again, I have to keep the silly thing this time because it's got all the names on it, and I will try not to blind you with the mirror, but that's what this one looks like. And yes, I hate the fact that there are creams. All of these four here are creams, which every time you use the shadow it goes into the cream, which is probably why I only ever bought the one of these. Right, thank you darling. Continuing with the Tam Stroke Revolution, let's do the Obsession ones.
I don't think any of these palettes could really grab me because none of them have arms.
If anybody needs someone to write Christmas cracker jokes, just leave me a message. Right, Obsession. I've got the Cool Down palette, which looks like this. I have got a tutorial using. There we go. I have got a tutorial using this. Then we have the Be Very Afraid palette, which is a bit of a bitch to open, and I am not breaking another bloody nail. Really struggling with these glitter shades in it. I hate pressed glitters in a powder palette, but I will persevere, and if I can get them to work I will do another video showing you how I got them to work. And then the two most recent ones, which I know I haven't edited yet, but I have filmed with them. There's a Be Crazy About, which looks like this, and all of these pans are magnetic, so you can actually pop them out and mix and match across the different Obsession line, which is great if you're going away and you just wanted like one row of neutrals for daytime and one row of brights for the evening. So that was Be Crazy About. And then we have Be Passionate About. Be Passionate About, which looks like this. This is very modern Renaissance vibes for me, these colours. And I will try and get the tutorials up for both of those palettes. If they're not up before this goes up, they will be one of the, probably the next few to go up. Thank you, darling. I'm going to leave the two Huge Revolution ones to last, so let's move across to the next pile.
Essence.
Yep. Thank you. I have two Essence palettes. I have a little mini one called All About Roses, which looks like this. Quite pretty. And this one I haven't even used yet. This is Dancing on the Milky Way. Now, the lash glue that I use is actually Essence Lashes to Impress, which we used to be able to buy from our local Wilkinsons, but they seem to have stopped doing it. Haven't got it online, haven't got it in the store. I was absolutely really annoyed because it's the best lash glue for me. Doesn't make my eyes run, doesn't irritate them, and keeps the lashes on all day, all night. But while we are still a member of the European Union, bloody Brexit. No, keep politics out of this. While we're still a member of the European Union, we can order from German sites without paying import tax on arrival.
Dankeval.
Indeed, Dankeval is Dutch.
Oh. No.
German is Dankeschön. Dankeschön is German, Dankeval is Dutch. But good effort, I'm impressed.
Good effort, spur of the moment.
Good effort, spur of the moment, wasn't expecting that. So I made an order from Cosmetica de something with Kosmetica. Basically because all I really wanted was two more things of lash glue. But then I spotted this palette called A Sky Full of Stars, and I absolutely love it. It's weird because the front says it's called Dancing on the Milky Way, and on the back it's got Sky Full of Stars. So I don't know which one it's actually called. Either way, it's really pretty, and I will be using it soon, I promise. Yeah, let's just next small pile, please.
Special effects.
Ooh, floating palettes. This is one of my palette regrets. Fell for the hype when I was first getting into makeup. This had just been released. I was unaware of how Too Faced just tend to recirculate the same kind of colours over and over again. But I bought the Nikki Tutorials palette. To be honest, the main reason I wanted it is because that's the colour of my wedding dress, and that's the colour of my bridesmaids' dresses. The blushes are quite nice. The bronzer's too dark. The highlight is just awful. Powdery, shows up every single bit of texture on your face. Some of these darker colours are okay. The lighter colours, I mean, I am as pale as a pint of freshly drawn milk, and even I can't get the damn things to show up on me. So if you're one of my more melanin enriched lovelies, just know. There was a whole lot of drama around this where it seemed that there were two different factories producing them, or the one that Nikki got sent to swatch on her channel was fabulous, looked great, which is why everyone rushed out to buy it, and then we all got crap ones. So yeah, thanks for that, Too Faced. Now this technically isn't a palette, but I use it on my eyes, so this was a Too Faced Unicorn Survival Kit, which to be honest I kind of bought as much for the little makeup bag as I did the contents of the bag, which is the Unicorn Tears Melted Latex Lippy, the Unicorn Tears Mini Bullet Lippy, and obviously that latex was a mini one as well, and a little mini Unicorn Tears Mystic highlight, which looks like that. It's got a little It's got a unicorn on it. How cute is that? You can see how often I've used it by the fact you can still see the bloody unicorn in it. But yeah, I tend to use that on my eyes rather than on my cheeks because, again, really, really shows up texture.
It's because the unicorn's magical that you can see it.
Okay, I'll... Next pile, please, darling. No, not that one.
No,
That's
not that
part
one.
of the...
That's too big.
Leave the one off till last. Let's... Zoeva.
I was going to go, I would say Zuva then, because it looked like I know.
You were thinking Zoolander. I know what you were thinking.
What about Zoos and Hoovers?
No.
Ah,
Right, this is the first Zoeva one that I bought, which is their Cool Spectrum palette, which looks like this and is very, very pretty indeed. And then for Christmas last year, Mr. and Mrs. Duck, you know who you are, got me a voucher at Beauty Bay so that I could treat myself to something, and I chose the Rodeo Bell palette, which looks like that. I beg your pardon, that was Coke repeating on me. Thank you, darling. Next pile, please. He's like eeny, meeny, miny, mo over there.
I've got the furry strokeable one.
You've got the furry strokeable ones. I don't need to tell you about this, do I? Modern Renaissance. Everybody's got a copy of Modern Renaissance. Or pretty much most people have got a copy of Modern Renaissance. I've also got Prism, but I think I bought it from a reselling site, and I think I've got a fake. I could be wrong. I mean, it's got the sticker on the back, but the logo on the front is slightly off-centered, which makes me think perhaps it's not genuine. That's the Prism palette. I'm pretty sure from looking at those that they are not genuine, but come see, come saw, Rodney.
But they're both furry.
Yeah, the other one was still in its box. I haven't taken it out of its box yet.
Furry palette.
Behave. Don't stand there and stroke the palettes.
But they're strokeable. Right.
My husband has a thing about textures. Thank you, darling. Right, Blush Tribe. This is... Actually, I'm not going to bother keeping that box, I don't think. Or that one. Stay them both go, please, honey bunch. This is the first one of theirs I bought. Plastic packaging. This is one of their private labelled palettes. This is the Psychedelic palette. I knew you'd like this one. There is a tutorial with this. But this is, I mean, you can get this, a number of different brands will have this sort of, and this is kind of, it's kind of Morphe quality shadows. But then she started formulating her own, and we have the Hasina 2, which, apart from my Jeffree Stars, this is my favourite palette because it's got all my favourite colours in it. And you will know that from the number of times you've seen me actually use this palette in tutorials. In fact, I think this is probably my second favourite palette. It even outranks some of the Jeffree Stars. I know, pick yourself up off the floor, people that know me. And then there's, just to give you an indication of the different sizes, Psychedelic, Full Fusion, Hasina 2. None of them are the same size. This kind of bugs me a little bit. But I'm getting over it. So, this is the Full Fusion one. There are at least 2 tutorials with this one with the cool side, one with the warm side, and I think I did one. I think one of my fall tutorials that I got asked for using colours apart from, you know, orange and brown eyeshadow for fall. I'm pretty sure I used that palette for that as well. So those are obviously, that's one of my UK indie brands that I love. Next pile please, darling.
I don't know what it is, but
These are Lime Crime Superfoils. Now the question is, will they have gone off?
are they furry?
No, they are glitters in a gel base.
Okay.
And a lot of people were finding that they were getting, oh no, this one seems to be okay. A lot of people were finding they were getting rust from the actual container. This one is Halo and Crystal. Which are those two colours? Very pretty, very pretty, very pretty. I'm wondering actually whether I ought to try and turn some of the brightness down so you can see the palette a bit better. That might be. Is that going to be too dull? Let's see. So that was, what was that? That was Crystal or Halo.
Crystal.
We have a friend called Crystal, and one of our mates' little kids used to call her Crystal, which we thought was undeniably cute. This is Lucid and Dream, and you can see I've used this one an awful lot. That's better, you can see the colours better now. Turn that brightness down. But again, so far so good. Don't see any rust happening on that. That's good. I must have struck lucky with mine, because these are used, they're best when used wet, basically. And this is so pretty. Squad Goals. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I have far too much. Just look at, if you could see my kitchen floor right now. Right, thank you, darling. Ah, Smashbox.
It's a boot. Smashbox.
We used to watch, or I used to watch a Canadian girl who unfortunately has stopped doing tutorials, and she's deleted all of her makeup tutorials off. But he loved her accent, a boot, and she used a lot of Smashbox. And because she always used a lot of Smashbox, he's like, "Oh, it's the Canadian Smashbox girl." I know all the names, all the voices.
All the names. Oh, that's right, folks. All the best names.
Love my husband. Right, so these are I've got two of their cover shop palettes with their kind of moving designs on the front. This one is drawn in and decked out. Difficult to show you this because of the mirror, because it doesn't actually open right out properly. So that's that one. This had an accident on its way to me, which was marvellous. Actually, I'll put that one there because I do need to film with that one. And this one is another cover shot, and this is the Metallic Eye palette, which looks a bit like this. And literally every single one of those shades is metallic. So if you can't, that'll be great as a supplementary palette if you don't have a lot of mattes. But if you can't do a look without mattes, don't buy this palette, because you haven't got any in that palette. And then I bought this behemoth from a seller on Depop. This is their Art Love Colour Masterclass, which opens out like this. So you've got a little, I'm guessing there was a leaflet or something in there at some point. But you open it up, and they've both got these little, I'm not getting screen, am I? Here we go. They've got these clear things that lift up. I really didn't think this through, did I, when I was trying to show this off? There we go. And this is a combination of face colours, and the larger pans are blushers and bronzers and highlights, I guess. And again at the back you've got another one of those little clear palettes. So yeah, let me know if you want to see me use this big bugger. I would have already shown you these in all of my Jeffree Star, but they are part of my palettes. So I have his first one, which is a beauty killer and looks like this. I have his second one, Androgyny, with the lovely crocodile skin, which looks like this. This is my favourite of all of his palettes so far. I'm showing you these out of order, but I don't care. This is his fourth palette, Thirsty, with the clear spot lamination on the front to look like drops of condensation, which looks like this. And this is the only one of his palettes that's actually come with one of these plastic sleeves, and I actually keep it because I'm guessing that as the others didn't come with that, that it's here to protect the unique formula of those shimmers. So I thought I'd keep hold of that. And then of course there's the one that looks like a VHS tape or a doctor's briefcase blood sugar, which is vegan leather. It's a bit stiff to open the first few times, but after you've opened it a few times it's fine, which looks like this. Now he has released his fifth palette, which is the same formula as these, which is Alien. Darling hubby has ordered that for me for my Christmas present. When it arrives, I'm allowed to look at it and make sure nothing's broken and potentially show you the palette, but I'm not allowed to actually play with it until Christmas. My sulky face isn't working.
What else have we got? Oh, the pencil tins.
Oh, the pencil tins. Quite a few of these. Now these are W7, and these are bang on dupes pretty much for most of the Naked palettes. So, metal tin. We've got In the Buff. We've got Lightly Toasted. We've got In the Nude. So that's basically 1, 2 and 3. Then we have Up in Smoke. First one of them to actually have a mirror. The other tins didn't have mirrors, which obviously is the smoky palette that Urban Decay have discontinued. They've also discontinued the first palette now as well. W7 also brought out this one called In the Night. Maybe. Thank you. Which is all purpley shades. You know my thoughts on that. And this is their Subculture dupe called On the Rocks, and I'm pretty sure there is a tutorial using that palette live on my channel. So, yay. Next pile, please, honey. Hope you're keeping track of which ones we've done.
This pile looks a little bit dubious, darling.
Juvia's Place. So we have really strong magnets. We have the Zulu palette, big pans, no names. We've got the Saharan palette, small pans, names. I got done on a reseller site, and I have a real and a fake mini masquerade. I will be doing real versus fake with that. But here's the genuine Mini Masquerade. Small pans and names, and this one arrived today. Haven't even swatched it yet. Super excited. Beauty Bay had a 50% off on these two palettes. Already had this one, so I'm like, oh, I've been lusting after this one for so long. This is the Mini Magic palette. How damn gorgeous is that bloody palette? Look at that! Cannot wait to get into those bottom two rows. Look at those greens and blues. Don't they look stunning? Hubby's starting to look bored, bless him. I think we're not even halfway through yet. Next part, please, darling. Ah, ColourPop.
Well, I say, yes, please.
This is a confusing palette because on the box it says yes please, on the back of the box it says yes please, on the back of this box it says, on the back of the palette it says yes please, and on the front it says cute AF.
I thought it was going to say no.
No thanks, yes please, no thanks.
Yeah.
This is one of ColourPop's most popular palettes. It's always going in and out of stock. If you can't afford Natasha Denona Sunset palette, you've got pretty much all the shades in there for much cheaper. So that's my Yes Please or Cute AF or whatever palette. And then My Little Pony, which my Auntie Barbara used to sing in the 80s as My Little Pony, Skinny and Bony. You knew I came from a weird family, right? Yep. So this is the My Little Pony palette. And I missed out on this one first time round because it sold out like that. This is the Femme Rosa palette from Carucci, and it's She. She may be the face I can't forget. Random singing again. You can tell it's my channel, can't you? So that's kind of pinks and oranges and purples and quite cute. I think actually it was these little ColourPop palettes that started me off on preferring smaller palettes to the big old 35 palettes. I did have the Morphe Jaclyn Hill, the white one, the big white one, the 35 one. Ended up giving that to Sophie, who does my nails, so I just...
Speaking of scary photographs...
First, hubby saw that on the kitchen table and went, oh my god, she looks scary!
She's going to eat my fingers.
So yeah, that's the Morphe Jaclyn Vault. We all know what this looks like. I have filmed with 3 of these palettes so far, but I will show them to you anyway. We have got Dark Magic. We have got Armed and Gorgeous. Filmed with this today, that's what did this eye look. And my ribbon's just fallen back inside. There we go. We have got Bling Boss. The purple one. And this is the only one that I haven't filmed with yet. This is Ring the Alarm. Which, to be honest, I'll probably use it for the tutorial and then probably never end up using it again, because if I want a red palette, I'm going to pick up Blood Sugar. Simple as, basically. Stick that back up there. And I've got this other Morphe palette. This is the 12Z or 12Z or Zodiac palette, I think they called it. Which looks like that. Nice muted shades for autumn and winter. I'm going to keep the big Jaclyn one up here, babe, because I need to film with that last palette. Yeah, let's do the individual ones. Go on. Can you reach them? No, the Kitco things.
Oh.
Not the one-offs, my individual shadows. Thank you, lovely. Right, Got this gorgeous Tarte Z palette, which I have got this selection of shades in. They are a mixture of Tarte, hand pressed ones, and I think Makeup Geek. Yeah. So that's Tarte, Homemade, and Makeup Geek. I love that. And this is my Kitco double-sided palette, as you can see. I haven't even filled one side up yet. And like this, these top ones here are hand pressed. These three are, I think these are Makeup Geek, let me check. Yep. This top three are Makeup Geek. The second row here are Revolution. These ones here are NYX. And this bottom four here are ColourPop, which I bought when I fell in love with the Melt Gemini palette but couldn't afford it. So then I thought, oh, it's alright, the Morphe Jacqueline thing's coming out with Armed and Gorgeous, that's pretty much the same colours, and then that had the hoo-ha where that was put on hold, and I'm like, I really want a mustard and a good olive green, so I ordered myself a 4-pack from ColourPop. So that's my sort of individual shadows. As I've just done those, I think I'll just quickly do these ones as well. These are the original Revolution Awesome Foils. In, what shades have I got? Emerald Goddess and Black Diamond. These I love. The reworked version in the bronze packaging, where it's gone from being Awesome Metals Flawless Finish to Flawless Foils Unicorn Foil. I absolutely hate this. This formula, fantastic. This one, I have done everything possible to get that to work, and it won't. So, I lost my temper. Now I refuse to use it. I have my Foera shadow in shade 109 Rose. This is a cream shadow like the ColourPop Super Shock shadows, and my fringe is coming down and tickling my forehead. Let's just tuck that back about the way, there we go. That I got from, I think, Wish. If you're going to buy anything from Wish, for goodness sake, test it on your skin first. Test it on your arm before you put it anywhere near your face. I've done that with everything that I've bought from Wish, be it lipsticks, be it eyeshadows, whatever. And touch wood, so far I've never had a problem. Someone I know, who shall remain nameless, husband, because I know what he's like for blurting names out, ignored my warning, put a lipstick from Wish straight on her lips and got chemical burns. So that'll teach you. Right, these are from Bella Pierre Cosmetics. They are loose pigments in Excite, which is this white one here, and Wow, which is this pink one. I also in here have a little pot of Stars and Moons that I can stick onto my face, not my eyes, but I can stick onto my face using either glitter glue or eyelash glue. This this is a little sample what one of my mates sent me of one of the Jeffree liquid highlighters to decide whether I wanted to buy it before, so I could decide if I wanted to buy a whole bottle or not. I don't, but I do appreciate her sending me that so I could try it, because it just lifts your foundation straight off again. This is actually a tube from Oh My Glitter, of little tiny bats, holographic bats, which obviously at Halloween come to play quite a bit. We have my Pink Lemonade pigment from the Pink Lemonade group. I know there's a tutorial up for that. I have two Blush Tribe pigments here. This one is Neelam, which is the green to purple, which obviously I wanted because it's wedding colours. And this one is Jasmine. I then have a couple of Oh My Glitter neon loose pigments. I have the neon green, which I have used. And trying to get all these back in again is a nightmare. And I have the neon purple, which I haven't used yet, but I intend to do so. And I have this gold pigment that doesn't actually have a name, but it was in the April mystery box. Then I have, oh, that's actually an Oh My Glitter purple gel eyeliner. I then have little individual cream shadows from Oh My Glitter. This one is upside down, Urania, which is a purple. Are you sensing a theme here? You will in a minute. This one is Athena. And this one is Blue Velvet with gold flecks in it. Lush. And then I have my individual ColourPop and NYX, oh, and a Revolution one. This is the magnetised green, which they seem to have stopped doing, which is a shame because I was going to get more of them. This is the one that when you tap it on the table, all of those, see those lines across it? When you obviously when you use it, you disturb those lines, but if you tap it on the table, all of those lines come back in again. And obviously I'm going through a green phase at the moment, and that's pretty much the exact colour of my eyes. Then I've got a number of these NYX prismatic shadows. This one is Savage or Sauvage. This one is Dark Ooh, and it's just popped straight out, rolled straight down my white top. That's awesome, that is. So that's Dark Swan, which apparently decided to go for a little flight of its own. Mental note, need to squidge that one down a little bit more. Got purple down the front of my white top now. This one is Punk Heart, which is like a sort of like a cranberry purple. And then this one I have used, this is Gilded. I used this in my 2-colour tutorial. I did a completely yellow and purple tutorial. And then ColourPop shadows. These are all Super Shock shadows. We've got Frog, which is this rather nice pretty pink. With these Super Shock shadows you do have to keep the lid screwed on tight, otherwise they dry up and you can't use them. I've got two of the My Little Pony ones. I've got Cherry's Jubilee, which, trying to show you the shade is not that easy. This is, perhaps if I hold it back, oh there we go, it's better if I hold it back here. Who knew? The ColourPop ones used to all be in white. I think they've now redone them so that they're now doing them in coloured pots, which is really going to annoy me because before the only coloured pots I had were the My Little Pony ones. This one is Sunbeam. Jesus wants me for a sunbeam. Random singing again. And then we have Daddy, which is actually one of their matte Super Shock shadows. Or satin rather than matte, to be honest. This one is Dare. Rather nice shiny purple. And then there's a Dance Party, which is this deeper purple. And then the deepest of the lot is Envy, which is so deep purple it's almost black. This is beautiful, just smoked out across the eye. Oof. Right, I think that's all of my individual shadows. So let me have a slurp of drink, and then if I can wake hubby up because I think he's gone to sleep, I can get him to pass me the next pile.
Oh, yeah, alright. Do you want the one of the kinds?
Have we done all the other piles yet?
No, there's this one here.
Thank you. This is my Chloe Morello Pretty Fun and Fearless Volume 2 from Ciate. Technically I think this should have been on my one of a kind, but I thought I had more Ciate than this. This is okay. I tend to use this part of the palette and not really that much, very much. But if you want to see a tutorial with that, let me know. Puppy.
What about we had Tarte?
No, we haven't yet. Oh, ouch. Thank you, baby. Right, this is pretty sure I use this in my getting ready sort of like really quickly because you hit the alarm too much in the morning. This is the Dance Party palette, which has got eyeshadow, blush, highlight and bronze. It smells like chocolate, Chris, smell that.
Good.
But being round, it's a bitch to store. I really should have kept a box for it because it just rolls around all over the place. But I learnt my lesson with this one. This is the Make Believe in Yourself palette, which only has one matte in the whole palette.
Only one matte.
Which is that one there. The rest are all shimmers with a highlight in the middle, but this is great for a... It's not great trying to show you the colours where it's in reflective packaging. I'm sure they do this deliberately, you know. It's great for a pop of colour palette if you've got a lot of neutral palettes and you just want something for that pop of colour on the lid. I got my Tarte Tease palette. This is actually the first Tarte palette that I got, which is just a little diddy palette. Looks like that. I really hate this reflective packaging from Tarte. Really hate it. I'm sure they do it so you can't actually show the shadows off properly. This is hubby's favourite palette because it looks like wood.
Made of.
This is the Graveyard Girl Swamp Queen palette that they did in collaboration with Bunny. And yes, I know there's a tutorial up for this. And this looks like that again. 3 lots of eyeshadows, bronze, blush, highlight, and that's the brush that came with it, with the wooden effect handle, which I use for smoking out my lower lash line. I like this one, but the problem with the ones where they put the bronze, the blush and the highlight in, obviously because they're trying to make it fit as many people as possible. If you're super pale like me or super dark, that bronzer's either going to look like you've been stamped on the face with a muddy boot or you ain't going to see it. This is the, what do they call this one? Oh, the Magic Star Collector Set. I got this, I think I bought this last Christmas. And this looks, I know I bought it before I embargoed myself. How pretty is this box though? And it opens, there's a little ribbon bit here that you pull up, and then you can then open all of the side bits, and you can see we've got a bronzer here, we've got blush, highlight, there's a Sex Kitten eyeliner there, there's a Tartist mini mascara there, and two Tarte lippies there and there, and all of those shades. So again, this is, I mean, this would be great if you have got someone who's just getting into makeup, because this is pretty much everything they're going to need. But again, I mean, that bronzer actually looks like it could be cool enough and light enough for me. So if you're one of my more melanin enriched followers, that's not going to be much use to you. It's going to be like a chocolate fireguard. Right, that's that pile. Hubby's crawling around on his hands and knees, love him. He didn't even get down on one knee to propose.
The mysterious signs of the zodiac.
Gives you a clue as to what's coming next, doesn't it? Right, BH Cosmetics. This is the first one of theirs I bought, which is the Nude Rose Nightfall palette. A little bit of ASMR for you. It's in a metal tin. You probably guessed that from me rattling my nails across it. Let me just take that out. It's got a double-ended brush in it, and the colours look like that. I will admit I got it mainly for this half of the palette rather than this half of the palette, but you probably already guessed that. And of course you have seen tutorials with this one. This is the original Zodiac palette. They are bringing out Zodiac 2 and I like it. It's too warm toned. This at least has a nice lot of purples, greens, olive greens. I love this palette. I just, yeah, love this palette. Baby, wakey wakey honey bunch. Let me just pause you a minute and see if I can wake the husband up. I think I've woken the husband up. Right, Wet n Wild. We have got Sparkle Till Morning. That blue's lush, look at that. We have got Petal Pusher that I got from Sheila Wolf's mummy. And we have got Poster Child, which I also got from Sheila Wolf's mummy. And then these are the two reworked ones that I bought from Revolution when they started to stock them. This is the Rosé in the Air, which is their version of Modern Renaissance. This one I haven't filmed with yet. This is their Comfort Zone palette. I don't know, to me maybe this is kind of subculture vibes, but not quite. Pretty palette though. I do need to film with this one. Right, thank you, darling. Now let's do the ones that I've only, let's do the I Heart Revolution or I Heart Makeup as they used to be. Yeah. There's a lot of these. I'm going to pass them all up, and I think what I'll do is just pass them back to you one at a time. I think that's probably going to be the easiest way to do it. You can see now why I needed his help, can't you? And these are not the easiest of palettes to stack when you don't keep the boxes for them, which in a lot of cases I didn't.
There's more.
Oh, crikey blimey. Oh, crikey blimey.
There we go.
Right, thank you, baby. As I said, I'll probably pass you these back one at a time. So, I Heart Revolution. Unicorn's heart looks like this. I Heart Revolution Mermaid's heart looks like this and has a matching Mermaid's heart highlighter, which coincidentally I just happen to have right here. Look at that. What's the chances of that, huh? There is the... Now you can tell how old some of these are because they're still I Heart makeups before they went to I Heart Revolution. So this is Chocolate and Peaches. Don't throw these double-ended sponge applicators away. They are great for shimmer shades where they go, apply it with your finger, and if you've got nails like this you can't. Use one of these, it's great. It's also great for glitter. So this is the Chocolate and Peaches, which you will have seen me use in the youth tutorial that I did for my eldest goddaughter Caitlin. I also bought her one of these so that she could follow the tutorial. Then we have I Heart Makeup. This is the Rose Gold. I'm trying not to dazzle you with the mirrors. The ones that have got those double-ended sponge applicators, I've had to keep the little plastic sheets that's got all the names of the shades on. Thankfully with more recent palettes they've actually been getting rid of that double-ended applicator and putting the names on the palette, which makes far more sense. This is the Golden Bar. Which looks like so. This is Pink Fizz. I think this is the first one of the chocolate bars that I bought. Pretty sure this is the first one that I bought. A lot of those have gone to hard pan. This is the mint chocolate one, which does actually smell like mint chocolate. A bit musty mint chocolate now, but mint chocolate. Some of these shimmers here have gone hard pan. Some of the earlier chocolate bars did used to go hard pan really quickly. The more later bars, not so much. They certainly have tweaked the formula. This is the Chocolate Love palette. Again, the old melted chocolate effect. Which looks like that. Very similar to one of the newer palettes, I have to say. Oh, this one I actually kept the box for. As I haven't kept the boxes for any of the others, I might as well bin it really. This is the Galactic palette, which is like the Mercury. And this is where they've started to put the names on the actual palette itself. These are the ones with the marbled shades. Really, really pretty, nice deep shades for coming into doing nice smoky-eyed looks. This is one of the new ones from the Big Pink Christmas Heart. This is the Peanut Butter Cup palette, which I have not filmed with yet, and I need to. Haven't even swatched it. This is the other one from that palette. This is the Red Velvet one. I got so excited when I saw this because they weren't showing you what the inside was like when they first launched it. And then I saw the inside and was a bit deflated, to be honest. This is the one that reminds me of that Chocolate Love palette with all the bright pink in it. It's just... I really wish, if you've got a lot of their chocolate bar palettes, you've got a lot of browns, you've got a lot of warm tones. I mean, they do whole bloody palettes of warm tones, for goodness sake. So I really wish they would pack it up. And when they do palettes like this actually came out before the ABH Norvina palette, but it is a pretty good dupe for it. This is the I Heart Revolution Violet palette, which looks like that. But again, it's like, how many of those shades are actually purple? 1, 2, 3. There's 4 purples, there's a pink, there's a red, and there's a purpley brown. But the rest of it are neutrals. We don't need that. I've got enough neutrals. Adam Minto, if you are listening, pack it up. If I see a palette like this, I want to see lots of shades that are this colour, not 90% brown and 2 or 3 of this colour thrown in just to make it match the outside packaging. Because I'm going to get to the stage where, in fact I've pretty much already got to the stage where I just don't bother buying these anymore unless they really call to me. This is the Lemon Drizzle one, which, to be honest, the colour scheme didn't really grab me, but Lemon Drizzle Cake was something that we had on our honeymoon and it just made me think of that, so I had to get it just for that. But again, you look at this Lemon Drizzle Cake, how many yellows and tones of yellow are actually in this palette and how many browns are there? It's so frustrating. This has actually got quite a few. This has got 2 matte yellows, 3 shimmer yellows, a salmony pink and an orangey red, and the rest of them again are pretty much all brown, and it's just, you could have done so much with these palettes. You could have done something really stunning with them, and you've just done brown with a hint of this and a hint of that. We've got browns, we've done browns, you've done whole palettes of brown, you've done whole bloody nude bars that are just bloody brown. I'm getting angry. Then we have this one which they called it the Makeup Geek palette. How the hell they got away with that, I do not know. Probably because it was the name of the palette, not the brand. And this has all the shades, every look, I'm a geek on the plastic sheet. Thanks for that. And it was the first really colourful palette that I picked up, so I caught it.
Okay.
Or rather, the table caught it for me, I think. But these are so tiny. I mean, look, if I put my nail next to them, can you see how small these pans are? Actually, smelling that now, it's starting to smell like wax crayon. Smell that.
Oh yeah. Oh, proper like wax.
It does smell like wax. I'd forgotten that about this palette. It does smell like wax crayons. Again, okay, pigment, but really goes hard pan. This is probably going to be one of the ones that I do declutter. And then we have the Fast Love palette. If you're looking for fast love, that's love in your eyes. I love George Michael. And that one looks like that. Totally not what you expect from the outside, is it? You see that and you think, oh, there's going to be loads of pinks and purples and... No. No. It's really not. It is a pretty palette. But it's not what you expect from the outside.
Is it more of a tea party than disco?
I'm not even sure that counts as a tea party, babe. Right. I've got 2 huge stacks of palettes now, which are all Revolution. No, that's the individuals.
Oh yes, these huge.
Yes, these 2 huge piles. Right, if you pass me the first lot up, pass me the first pile up, I'll do like I did with the last lot and just pass them back at you one at a time. I think that's going to be the easiest way to do it.
That's the way to do it.
Indeed.
I don't have a crocodile.
No. This palette arrived 2 days ago. I haven't used it yet. Every time I went to buy it, it was out of stock. I know what you're thinking. That's a bit nude for you, Ange. What were you just saying? But this, I was watching a video that Tammy Clark did, Makeup by Tammy. And this one, which is the Revolution Reloaded Velvet Rose palette, these are only £4, these reloaded palettes. This is a dupe for the ABH Soft Glam. And I thought, hang on, £4 or £42 for Anastasia? Not a difficult sum to do, is it really? This one, you will know I love this one. Carmi. Carmi, my baby. The Kiss of Fire palette. Love this palette. Look, wedding dress, bridesmaids dresses. And do you know what isn't in here? Not one single solitary bloody neutral brown. Love you, Carmi. Mwah, baby. So yeah, love this palette. Probably one of my favourite Revolution palettes, I have to say, because there's no neutrals in it. I'm going to pass them back to you when I forgot what I was doing for a minute. This is Revolution Pro Regeneration Trends Mischief Mattes. Lovely colourful palette. Doesn't bother me that there isn't a mirror because it makes it nice and easy to see what you actually got. And I use either my viewfinder or I've got a mirror here anyway. So now, because all of these they're £16 eyeshadow palettes, all basically look the same, I had to start keeping the boxes to tell them apart. So this is the Midnight Unicorn. See, the majority of them are just like this from the outside. So you get a pile of them, you ain't got a clue what you got. This is the Midnight Unicorn. Really pretty colours, love that indeed. Lots of pinks and purples and blues and a couple of greens bunged in for good measure.
Do you know what I saw at lunchtime today? The Midday Unicorn.
I really wondered where you were going with that for a minute. Because let's face it, darling, with you I never do know where you're going with these.
It's a mystery.
It's a mystery. Oh, it's getting to me. This is another Revolution Reloaded. This is the Visionary palette. This is effectively their dupe for Norvina. This came out after the Violet palette, but again, £4. And I picked this up because unusually it's actually got cool toned neutral nudes kind of thing. The majority of browns that you see in palettes are warm toned, which if you're cool toned skin like me, they don't always work. So it's nice to see. I actually didn't mind there being quite a few browns in this one because they were cool toned. It wasn't another bloody warm toned brown palette. This is their dupe for Subculture. This is the Reloaded Iconic Division. Bloody love this palette. This is my first ever film, my first ever tutorial on this channel, where I was so nervous and so not used to talking to a camera. I used this palette and it's still by far one of my favourite palettes from Revolution. Right, then they did quite a few of these. These are their Redemption palettes, which one I think they were meant to be similar to the Urban Decay Naked palettes in layout, if not colour. This is the Hot Smoked one. And then we have Acid Brights. Acid! Yes! I'm 11 years older than him and he still knows a song from my youth. That's quite worrying. So, Acid Brights. This is their Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead. I don't speak Spanish, but I know what that means. Again, this is one of their just black from the outside. And it looks like that. I went through a phase of doing this where they'd have these ones and then they'd have the circular ones at the bottom. Circular ones all tended to be mattes and were quite powdery, but you did used to get some really punchy colours in them, which if you were patient and built them up, you could actually get a really good look with. And then these ones tended to have more shimmers or satins, but they did have some mattes in there as well. Obviously, if there's any of these palettes that you want to see me do a review on or a tutorial with, let me know. I'm aware that a lot of these palettes you probably can't get anymore. I mean, I haven't seen this one for ages. I know Mrs. Duck has been looking for it because she likes the colour scheme too. This is the Welcome to the Pleasure Dome, which instantly makes me think Frankie Goes to Hollywood. And again, it's another one of those circles and rectangle palettes, but again, this was pre the warm toned palette sort of fiesta that we've been having. So these are actually more neutral and cool, which is quite nice, quite nice. Thank you very much. I don't seem to do this style anymore. Guess they didn't sell that well. Oh, would you go back in? Thank you. This is the Eyes Like Angels palette. This has got 32 shadows in it. Much smaller pans, as you can see. Smaller than the usual size pans. But that is good because, I mean, at least then you're getting a decent amount of colours without having a huge palette. A lot of shimmers compared to mattes, and the shimmers did tend to get hard pan quite easily. I can't remember the last time I picked this palette up, so I probably am going to declutter that one.
Just a second ago.
Prior to today, I cannot remember the last time I picked this palette up. Unicorns unite, with the midnight unicorn and the midday unicorn.
The midday unicorn?
Bloody midday unicorn.
Like BLT sandwiches, the midday unicorn.
You're your best friend then, wouldn't he? That's what Unicorns Unite looks like. You love a good BLT, don't you?
Yeah.
This is the only problem with these. You do tend to have to keep, as I was saying, keep the boxes to tell what you've got. But it is in a bit of a bugger when you're trying to show off your collection. This is Big Love. This says 3 looks in 1 palette. This is very much the layout of the Kat Von D Shade and Light, but in different colours. So you've got silvers, greys, and like a beigey, champagne-y colour. This is your purpley based ones, and then you've just got your browns at this end with kind of brow bone highlight shades there. I haven't got their Light and Shade, which is their version of Shade and Light, because it was boring, it was all brown, I didn't want it. Now this one, this is the Flawless palette, and I know for a fact that Sophie is going to scratch my eyes out if I declutter this and don't give it to her. Oh no, it's the Flawless 4 that I think she'll like. She might want this one as well. This is the Flawless palette, which is sort of neutral browns, a green and some dark smokier colours. So she might not rip my arm off if I declutter this one elsewhere. I know she wants the Flawless 4 though, which I know I am going to be decluttering. But I probably will declutter that as well because I don't really touch that one very often either. This is the only Revolution palette that I couldn't get on with. This is the Fortune Favours the Brave, and looks like that. And to look at it, you'd think, but that's all the kind of colours that you like. You've got some greens and blues, you've got some purples, and then you've got some more neutrally ones this side. But I just could not get on with this palette. I don't know what it was. It didn't call me. It really didn't.
Hello? Hello? I think someone's on the palette for you.
This is the hashtag Revaholic Eyes, which is one of the palettes where if you bought X amount of stuff, you got a free palette, either lips, eyes, or cheeks. And I got the eyes one, which I really like. Obviously, I prefer this half of the palette to this half of the palette, but it is kind of daytime, nighttime. So if you're going away somewhere for a conference, ideal travel palette.
Covers all your unicorns.
Covers all my unicorns, indeed. Good Lord. This is another one of the Redemption palettes. This is Mermaids versus Unicorns. I know Jenny likes this one. She uses this one a lot. And again, given that there's blues and purples, I'm surprised that I don't reach for this more. Probably because I've got so many palettes. I'm trying to sort of rotate them all round so I use them all. And this is the Love the Revolution with sort of like one colour scheme this side, one colour scheme this side, and a huge great highlighter in the middle. Lovely. Oh, I've got two little mini I Heart Revolution palettes here that I forgot about. There's the Rose Gold Glow. Oh no, this one isn't a face palette, that's why I didn't show this one. This one's highlight and blush. It's the other one I was meant to show you. Thanks, baby. This is the mini chocolate orange. I didn't get the big one because, to be honest, there were too many browns in it. But the little one actually had oranges in it, so I thought I'd grab this one. Yeah, it smells like chocolate orange as well. So that's my little orange palette. 2 piles left to go, baby, and then we're done. And we've got to put them all back away again. Right, let's have the other Revolution palette then, please. The other Revolution pile. Yeah. Thanks, baby. My back's about to give in. I'm really glad you helped. Okay. Eat, sleep, makeup, repeat. This is again what they called their Pro Looks 3 Looks 1 palette. Again, I'm surprised I don't reach for this more with the greens and the purples. But again, it's probably because I've got too many palettes. I really do need to do a declutter and really sort of going through into the start of next year, darling. Going through into the start of next year, I really just start to. I need to trim them down to the ones I'm actually going to use and then actually use them. This is the first one of their, what they call their professional eyeshadow palettes. I threw the box away because I hadn't realised they all look the bloody same. This is their Neutrals versus Neutrals, the first one, which I love. Warm tones at the top, cool tones at the bottom. Absolutely brilliant. Really, really love that. Great for work. Right, I got 3 of the Life on the Dance Floor palettes, which look sparkly. So I got the silver one, the rose gold one, and the black one, but I didn't get the gold one because the gold one I think was boring. So the rose gold one, oh, I get the feeling I might declutter this one. I know exactly who's going to want it. Right, this is the guest list palette. Sophie is probably screaming at the screen right now.
Ah! That was me, sorry.
I think they know that, baby. This is the After Party, which is darker and smokier and after party. Still smells okay. This one did have an accident on its way to me, that corner of that black went, but it's so pigmented that I wasn't really fussed about that. Because of course, whenever I order stuff, I have to order it online because being disabled I just can't get into the stores. This is the Sparklers palette. Definitely need to use this more. Look at those greens. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I really need to start using my palettes that I've bought rather than just keep buying new bloody palettes all the time.
Pigment?
Ted.
Ted?
If you've watched How I Met Your Mother, you will understand that. Have you met Ted? This is the one that I know Sophie's going to want. This is the Flawless 4. With a nice sort of satin rose gold, which does give you a bit of an indication of what the inside's going to be like. So I think this one and that one of those Life on the Dance Floor ones, and she's going to be a very happy girlie. Husband's doing a little jig for me. This is the I'm sorry, I'm hopeless at pronouncing her name. This is the Polish Maxine palette, which, similar to the Tarte Graveyard Girl palette. 3 different colourways for the eyes, bronzer, blush, highlight. Again, if I go really lightly with this, I can just about get away with it. But, you know, if you're really melanin enriched, no, you're just not going to see it. Just don't waste your money. This is the first Soph X Revolution palette. I haven't bought the second one because it's too warm toned. Whereas this one, as well as being a bitch to open, has actually got a nice selection. You can see I've been definitely drawn to this part of the palette mainly. I do need to do some tutorials with this actually. This is the Colour Chaos palette. Which looks like that. I've used this one quite a bit when I'm doing Halloween looks and stuff just because of these neons here. Although they're matte. I know I said I wasn't going to swatch, but look at that. And that's just barely touching into the pan. So they really do build up really nicely. This one, The Dead or Alive, I loved so much. I bought a backup palette in case this one ran out. I've only ever hit pan on 2 palettes in my life. This is the Dead or Alive palette. I don't know if you can see, but I've got a proper good dent going in that one. I'm going to hit pan on that one soon, and that one by the look of it. And probably that one as well. And yeah, those 4 there, that's the first 4 that I'm going to hit pan on, but you can tell, lovely cool tone, nice and smoky. Definitely one of my favourite palettes, this one. And yeah, I have still got the backup. You're going to turn the heating off using the handle of the wooden spoon, aren't you? Now
I've come up with a great idea. Whenever you do hit pan, we do this. We've hit pan.
He's got a saucepan and a wooden spoon. Because I told him when I was a kid, Grandad sat me in the middle of the kitchen, upturned all of my nan's saucepans. This is one of them. Give us it, babe. This is one of my nan's saucepans. This is one of her Second World War Bakelite handle. You can see how old this saucepan is. Grandad turned them all upside down.
This is not an original wooden spoon though.
This is not an original wooden spoon. Sat me in the middle of it, and I made a hell of a racket.
Oh yeah. That's got some...
That went through your ear hole, didn't it?
Yeah, my one good ear hole.
You've been having trouble with one of his ears. But yeah, and I was making a hell of a racket, and Nan came rushing through going, "What are you doing?" And Grandad's like, "Leave her alone, she's having fun, she's being creative." I could get away with murder with my Grandad. I swear he would have got me the top brick off the chimney if I'd asked for it. Anyway, enough reminiscing about saucepans and wooden spoons. And hitting pan.
Yeah, hitting pan, too. Made for a good story.
It did. Give them nightmares, give them darkness.
What?
He's losing the plot over there. Give him his due. He's been very patient for a man being surrounded by this much makeup, though. Look at this. Isn't this just... doesn't this just scream at you, me? Purples, greens and blues. Yeah, I use the hell out of this, I tell you. I think I used that pretty much non-stop for the first 4 weeks that I had it. Then they brought more palettes out and I went into a palette palooza. This is the Give Them Darkness. I'm waiting for you to start singing. I believe in the God love. Yes,
let's not in my heart.
A band called The Darkness.
With my cat suit.
You are not putting a lycra cat suit on. That would be obscene.
I could hit those high notes.
Yeah. So what was I saying? This is the Give Them Darkness palette, which again, for some reason, they decided to put a bright white and an orange in the middle of this all dark palette. I don't know why. Probably something to do with the fact they put wolf's eyes on the front, and they figured wolf's eyes are amber. So why they put an orange in there instead of an amber, I don't know. But anyway, never mind. I'm chuntering. This is the Dark Rain palette, and I do believe that is Moth Queen on the front. She is amazing. She is bloody amazing. And what I like about this palette is one row of mattes, one row of shimmers, exactly the same shade. So if you want to go for a monotone look, you absolutely can. Brilliant idea. As far as I know, this is the only time they've done that with a palette. I don't recall seeing any others like that. And as you can see, I've got a lot of palettes. And then we have another one of their reloaded palettes. This is the Passion for Colour. Now this one only has 2 mattes in it, which is that one and that one. The rest are all shimmers and satins, but there is a tutorial up with it. You know that I've used shimmers through my crease. I break all the rules. I'm a rebel. And this is their beautiful Darkness palette, which is the only one of them that they decided to do burgundy. So I've definitely got to keep the box because now it doesn't match the others. But this is at least one of the ones where they've started to put the names on the palettes. So again, you can see nice cool toned taupe here. Love this for a crease colour. I mean, whacking that through your crease, deepen it up with that on the outside corner, bung a bit of that on your lid and off to work. You know, it's easy, sorted, done. Bonus. Blinding, geezer, dude. Losing the plot. I'm getting high from all of this makeup.
I say.
When they hit 1 million subscribers on Instagram, if you ordered a certain amount of money, they sent you the 1 million subscriber palette for free. And again, this to me is very modern Renaissance, and I love this. This is great for travelling. This is the palette I was going to take when we went to my brother's wedding this year, and then we both came down with stomach flu the day before the wedding. Gutted doesn't even, it's not even a pun either. I was devastated to miss that, I tell you. But this is the palette I was going to take. So, yeah. And then I've got, they did a My Sign collection, where they did a different lip gloss and a different palette for different star signs. So you've got Aquarius, which apparently is creative, individual, and thoughtful. Now these are really clever. I don't know why these didn't take off more. They're in little screw top lids. You've got eyeshadow base. I don't normally like creams in with powders, but you know, I'll forgive you on this one. 2 different tones of brow powder, a highlight, and 3 eyeshadow shades. That's awesome. If you're going to go stay at mate's overnight, that's just ideal to slip into your handbag. That's your face, that's your eyes done, sorted, including your brows. So that's Aquarius. I didn't just buy the Taurus one, which is my star sign, because I liked quite a few of the others. Maybe? Then we have Libra, which, fun enough, was my granddad's star sign. The one who sat me in the kitchen with the saucepans and wound my nan up, something chronic. And Libras are harmonious, idealistic, and romantic. Not sure I really want to think of my granddad that way, to be honest. And that's what their wheel looks like. Again, I might declutter some of these, just because I don't really reach for them, to be honest. Scorpio, powerful, faithful and magnetic. Jeffree Star's a Scorpio, I believe. And you can guess why I chose this palette. Look at those purples. You knew I was going to want that. And then there's mine and hubby's star signs. There's Virgo for hubby. Systematic, honest and reliable. That sounds like you, doesn't it? Systematic, honest and reliable. Systematic. 5-star moment there. I've only actually used this twice and it doesn't even look like I've touched it. They're quite firmly packed shadows, these, at the moment. They don't have a lot of kick up to them, which is great, but they do still transfer onto the brush. And then my one, Taurus, apparently, and my husband can tell me whether he agrees with this.
Oh, yes.
Loyal, sensuous, and generous.
Yeah, and sometimes dangerous, depending on you.
Sometimes very dangerous.
but not bad, just dangerous.
Mad, bad, and dangerous, I know. And that's that's what my one looks like. Right, we are down to the final palette. Diddle-down, diddle-down. And these are palettes that I only have one of from the brand. Keep them coming. Why have you put the eye heart? Why have I got Revolution ones back?
Oh, they've returned. Sorry, I was testing you.
Someone wasn't doing their job properly, were they?
Natasha, no. Yes. Slush. Oh.
Saviour of the universe. Code BOMBER for 10% off. Still works. Non-affiliated. I don't earn from it. Is that a lot now?
Do you earn hugs?
Only from you and my godchildren.
I thought it said "Oh my gutter" then, but it says "Oh my glitter." Oh.
Is that a lot now?
That's the Revolution pile there, yeah, so that's it.
We are on the final furlong. Right. If you've watched my tutorials, you'll have seen me using Coastal Scents brushes. This is the Coastal Scents eye palette. This is Jungle Roar. Meow. Makes you think of Tarzan Boy. Oh, which my hubby sings with the animal impressions in karaoke's. This is the Jungle Roar palette. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Baby, stop dancing. Thank you. You saw my individual Oh My Glitter bits and pieces. This is the Oh My Glitter Get Sprung palette. This was in the April mystery box. You will have seen this in my favourite swatch from my favourite palette, and you will also have seen it in the hashtag clickbait makeup tag video that I've just done, and I did a tutorial with it for my Persephone inspired look. Then we have the Pop Feel, which is not Pop Luxe and nothing to do with Nady. My album,
The Kiss of Fame.
there we go. Every time I watch Nady, if I click off of it at the end, because he always has the same outro about his highlighters and his album. if I just click like and move on to the next video, because he's like, what about his album? You didn't tell us about the Kiss of Fame. This is the Pop Feel palette. Gets very defensive for Nady, does my husband.
Hey, we need to hear about the Kiss of Fame. It's just part of the ritual.
These are all, I think they're all satins and shimmers. It's just a random. Believe it or not, I bought some. What did I buy? Oh, this smells like crayons as well. Oh, smell this! It smells like cheap crayons, not proper crayons.
I know someone would like it if it smells like crayons.
Stop it! Smell it.
Crayola.
Yeah, no, cheap crayons, not Crayola crayons. That smells like cheap crayons. Basically, I bought some lashes, and for some reason they chucked a free palette in, and I haven't used it yet. So if you want to see me use that, let me know. Or if you'd rather I bunged it in a giveaway, and I don't really want to put it in a giveaway because I don't know how good it is. If you want to see me use this, let me know. Hubby's not paying attention, and I just dropped a palette. This is my Thamadi palette, which I have done a film on, but I don't think I've edited it yet. This is obviously a dupe for the Huda Emerald Obsessions palette. I've also, because I've had Thamadi lipsticks before, so I didn't mind ordering the eyeshadow. And obviously I've got Beauty Glazed palettes, we saw those. I've actually ordered the purple one of this in Beauty Glazed to see which company does the best, and then I'm going to order the blue one from whichever of the companies does best. I'm waving holographic packaging at you in the hope that I'm hypnotising you. Is it working? Is it working? Are you spreading the word about 4F Beauty? Are you subscribing? Are you sharing my video? You know you are. Hubby wants to... Hubby wants to join in the ribbed for her pleasure gang. He hasn't ripped his nail off. He just wanted to play with a little mini condom. I'm not flicking you off, I promise. Oh, just suddenly realised how that looked. I'm sitting there like that.
Yeah, that's a good thing you're not monetised.
Good thing I'm not monetised. Although you threatening to dance around in Lycra would most definitely get me demonetised. That
sure?
That'd be X-rated, darling. Remember, I've seen you with your clothes off. Let's not go down that road.
I'll wear the big snapper then.
Oh. This I ordered from Depop, and it arrived the day the shit hit the fan about her not vaccinating her child, which really pissed me off because I used this in that one video and now I can't ever use it again on my channel because she's on my shit list and I won't use her. I have used her when I'm not filming, because I do really like these. Some of them are a little bit powdery, but they build up really quite nicely. That black is one of the best blacks that I've got. I think that one, the Jeffree Black Diamond, and the black one out of the Pretty Little Palettes, the Vampy one, which is in this pile somewhere, are the three best matte blacks that I've... Oh, and the black from Hasina 2. Those are the 4 best ones. But I love, 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 love this palette. For a long time I couldn't buy it because people who know me know I have a phobia of butterflies. I've been working very hard this summer to try and cure my phobia of butterflies, to the fact I can now actually touch a picture of a butterfly, which I couldn't do before. My mates knew that if they... Oh, Lizzie Pops came... No, it wasn't Lizzie Pops, it was Jess. She came to the pub with a butterfly top on. She came to give me a hug and I'm like, no, 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 no. And she doesn't realise she had butterflies on to put her cardigan on and I could give her a hug. So yeah, that's... It's really frustrating because I really like this palette, but obviously, shit list won't be used on my channel. No. This palette feels ridiculously light, but you will have seen from my tutorial, this is actually a really good palette. The only criticism that I had with this was that the only mattes are this 5 here and this black. Although the shimmers did actually build up through the crease quite nicely, I did make a point of saying in the film that I know a lot of people don't like running shimmers through their crease, and that, you know, I would have liked to have seen, you know, maybe a couple of a blue and a green, and possibly this corally pink here being actually a matte shade, so that people have got mattes to build a look on. And when I posted the video, the link to the video for this on my Instagram, Exposed Cosmetics are the company, and they actually made a comment on my video that they love the fact that I given their palette a thumbs up, and they're taking on board my comment about the number of mattes. So hopefully going forward with future palettes they will have more matte options for you. However, I really like this palette. After I'd bought it, Nikki Raven saw the tutorial, she bought it, and I do believe she likes it too. Nikki is in the Beauty YouTuber Growth Group, so when you finish watching this, you can always pop across and see if you can find her review on this palette. Right, this next one is... I've got loads of these little sponge tipped things in here because I use them for this. This is from a company called Prima, and it is pressed glitters.
Ooh.
And they are, bearing in mind that these are probably getting on for 18 months old now, they are still all, the gel or the whatever they're in, I've got to be careful with my nails that I don't chunk a great big hole out of them. I don't know what formula the gel or whatever it is, the base that they're in is, but look, you can see, I know I said I wasn't going to swatch, but this is the last pile. Look, that's nothing on my hand at all. So there's no primer, there's no glitter glue, and sorry honey, we're going to be finding glitter in the bed for days again.
Ooh, not sequins though.
No, not sequins. I had a top with sequins on it, it kept shedding. And I swear, even after we changed the bedding about 6 times, we still kept finding bloody sequins in the bed. I have no idea. He woke up one morning, one stuck on his bum. That's quite cute, I will admit. He's got a lovely little bum as my husband. I tend to keep this Jeffree Star and the snake. Jeffree Star and the snake postcard in here just to help keep that nice and airtight, which possibly has actually helped. If you want to know why I call him the snake, you're going to have to watch my Hits and Shits film, which I haven't filmed yet, but I will do.
But is this so? This is like the future, but in the past.
Yeah.
Or the past and the future.
Both. It's an oxymoron.
Damn. Damn those foolish oxen.
And they're morons.
I know, terrible, aren't they? They just walk into things all the time.
I've got no idea. But then if a deer had no eyes, it would walk into things a lot, wouldn't it? You got me as bad as you. Right. Storybook Cosmetics, Witchcraft and Wizardry. Basically their take on Harry Potter. Love this because it looks like a book. Looks like a book. And that's the colours. If you want to see me use this, let me know. That green is just to die for.
Expelliarmus!
I'm impressed. As long as you don't come up with waving a wand saying Avada Kedavra, we'll be alright.
Potter!
Snape! This is the aforementioned Slush! Ha! Saviour of the universe! Bum, bum. I love Queen. And this is what it looks like. You will have seen this a lot on my channel. This is by far my favourite bright palette. I've got to be honest, I thought Jeffree Thirsty was going to look more like this than it actually did. I have to admit, I wish that in this orange row, I mean, these two here are very, very similar. Especially when you sort of like, not those two, that one and that one look quite similar when you get them on the eye, even though one's matte and one's a shimmer. So I would really have loved to have seen maybe this bright orange be a shimmer rather than a matte. I would love, if that was the same consistency as Blue Lagoon, this would be bang on perfect. That's the only change really I would make to this palette. Love, 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 love. Now this one is one that I bought to film with. Now, clearly, this is not a Natasha Denona Lila palette because I ain't got that amount of money to spend. But they have done a really good, they got this annoying flappy thing that everyone always moans about with the names on. And in terms of the colours, it looks like they've done a good match. Now I have swatched this. No, I haven't. I'm going to swatch this up my arm and leave it for sort of 12 hours.
I thought that was going somewhere else then. It did sound like it. Oh. Sorry.
Thank you. I'm going to swatch this up my arm.
I'm terrible.
And leave it for at least 12 hours to make sure I don't have a reaction to it. When I bought it off of Wish, I thought it was, it didn't actually show it as being a Natasha Denona. It just showed you the inside of it. So I thought it was going to be something like Thermardie or Beauty Glazed or We Care Your Favours or Focalure. But it's an actual fake. So this one I'm more nervous about putting on my face, so I need to make sure I test it out well and truly before it goes anywhere near my face. This is So Lush by La Belle Makeup and looks like this, and there is a tutorial for it on my channel. This is the Certified Destiny palette, which looks like that. I'll turn it sideways so you can see it better. Love this, absolutely love this. Those greens and purples and blues, stunning. This is the only palette I failed with on my channel. This is the Eye Candy Cosmetics Pina Colada palette, which looks like that. If you want to find out if I tell you the truth in my tutorials, go watch this. And although I'm not a drama channel, I am going to be filming a information film about the whole saga with this palette and the latest developments, which worry me greatly. Lorelei, Los Angeles, the Cat's Pajamas palette, which I bought when it was half price on Beauty Bay, because there ain't no way I'm paying full price for this shit.
Cats don't even like wearing pyjamas anyway. They've already got natural furry pyjamas.
I got that because I got asked to review it, and when it was half price I thought, yeah, why not? The fact you've only ever seen it used on my channel once probably tells you a lot about that. This is the Technic Electric Beauty palette. Very, very pretty. I'm sure I had another Technic palette, but do you think I can find it? No. This is Flossy Sunflower. Funny enough, next door's kid's called Flossie. And this is basically a dupe of, just stuck my nail right in that, the Kylie Bronze palette, as you can see. Like I said, I don't mind using dupes that have their own brand name on the front, because that to me, that's a ColourPop, that's a Revolution, that's a W7. I normally avoid ones that claim to be the actual product. This is from New Look. This is their, what do they call this one? Oh, Nude palette, which is very generic. I did quite like the look of this one here online with all the glittery shimmery bits in, but doesn't really come across very well on the eye. It's very, very powdery. Takes an awful lot of work to build it up. If you want to see me use that one, then you let me know. Now, regular viewers will have seen me using my Winky Lux Coffee Latte Bronzer, which smells like, smell that, freshly ground espresso beans. It's a great wake up in the morning. Now I was going to get, they got a matching coffee smelling palette, but it was all browns obviously for coffee, which we know that's not me, but they have got this one. It's called The Perfect Palette for Prowling Around, and it's the Cashmere Kitten palette. How bloody cute is that packaging? Look at that. And then when we open it up, look at those. Isn't that just my perfect nudes palette? Cool toned with tinges of purple and taupe. Yes, this is new. No, I haven't filmed with it yet. Yes, I will get round to it. Yes, I know I've got a lot of palettes to do. I'm sorry, I'm getting there as quickly as I can. This is Makeup Forever. This is Artist Shadows number 2. Number 2. I'm Elvis's number 2.
Who does number 2 work for?
Number 1. I'm not going to tell you what husbands just mouth behind the camera. This is what this one looks like. I do believe there is a tutorial up for this. This is the Pretty Little Palettes Vampy one that I mentioned with the fabulous black, which really has got, this is one of the best black shadows ever. They regularly have special offers. I picked this up they're normally 22 quid. I picked this up for 11 because they had a half price deal on. Halloween they had all of their palettes for £6.66. At the moment all of their palettes are on for 7 quid each. So this one I absolutely love. They've got 2 other palettes as well, but I wasn't really drawn to those colours, but Love, love, love this one. Hubby's now at the other end of the kitchen, so I can't even pass this to him.
Sorry.
This is the Balm Juvia palette, the Rockstar Face palette, Living on a Stair. Now the Balm are actually very sensible because they have the cardboard bit at the front split into two. So the two lipsticks at the bottom have this flap over it to protect them from all of the powders above. Other palettes, take note. I got this quite cheap because it was classed as a second because half of the pans are in crooked. So they were selling it off mega cheap, and I'm like, do you know what? I don't care. At the time, I didn't have a channel, so I didn't give a stuff what it looked like, so long as it worked. And now for the final palette. You have already seen this on my channel. This is the Folklore We Care Your Favours, and you saw this in the Battle of the Huda Rose Gold dupes. Right, there we go. Until my Alien palette arrives. Aliens! Until my Alien palette arrives, that is my entire eyeshadow collection. I think. I don't think there's any more. But yeah,
what's this?
As you can don't.
Joking.
Don't. That's not even funny.
See how much fun it is?
That's so not funny, because when I did my foundation review, not only did I forget until the very last second to show my two Beauty Bakery cake mix foundations.
I actually thought that was cake mix.
I know, but I completely forgot about my Misha Magic Cushion foundation. The only cushion foundation I've got. Probably why I forgot about it. So, there we go, folks. That is my entire eyeshadow collection. And now I've got to put these all away again. This is post filming me as we were sorting all the palettes back into the various boxes. I came across a pile we hadn't done yet. This is one of the Dragon's Eggs that I Heart Revolution did, which I have filmed with, where you've got shadows one side and then two choices of highlight colour on the other side. Hubby's crawling around on the floor groaning, if you're wondering what that noise is. When I said bung them in the box, darling, I didn't mean just throw them in, I meant place them in.
I could place them, they just wouldn't fit.
This is why husband doesn't pack cases. This is the Sleek Eye Divine Ultra Mattes version 2 Dark, which looks like this. I love these little sleek palettes. I knew I'd missed something. I was remembering that I hadn't done these. I'd forgotten the egg, but I did remember I hadn't done these. This is the Sleek Eye Divine Sparkle 2, which is all shimmers and glitters, as you can see. Well, shimmers with glitter in them, they're not pressed glitters, thank goodness. This is the Sleek Eye Divine Acid, which once again is a little bit acidic. I have totally lost the plot. And this is my most recent one, which is the Whimsical Wonderland, All the Fun of the Fair, which looks like that, and is my pastel one that I got because I wanted the Creepy Cute palette by, I can't remember. And I know that it was just too expensive with the with the shipping and then the import fees I was going to get, I just couldn't afford it. So, I think now this is genuinely all of the palettes, and now I go back to the end of the video that I've already filmed. Editing me is going to hate me. See you in a bit. Geki, hope you're happy. Right, hope you enjoyed this. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could hit that like button,
Subscribe,
comment, share, subscribe. When you subscribe, don't forget to ring my bell. Ring my bell and choose all notifications so that you get told every time I upload another one of these videos. You never know, you might be lucky. Hubby might be making another appearance if I can persuade him after this nearly sending him to sleep with all these palettes. Talking of other videos, there are many on my channel for you to watch. You could also pop over and have a look at some of the videos from the girls from the Beauty YouTuber Growth Group, who are also listed in my description box below. Right, all that remains for us to say, as ever, is you'll stay fabulous. And we'll see you again next time.
Haha.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, baby.
That's all right.